guys, it's Taylor here today. When I saw this card that Noriko made, I was in awe, and I knew I had to create a video to show you guys how she got this amazing effect. We will be using the Foliage background stamp. You can see it has a circle built in the middle that's perfectly sized for lots of sentiments. I have the Woodgrain background that will be used for the kissing technique. We'll also be using Handlettered Sentiments with the coordinating dies. Two different colors of ink. I have Granny Smith and Cilantro, along with rose gold embossing powder, Versamark, and a small sponge dauber. I've put a little bit of adhesive down into my MISTI to hold my paper in place while I stamp this background. I'm arranging it over the top of my sugar cube cardstock, picking that up with my lid, and I'm going to stamp that with the lighter color of green. This is Granny Smith, stamped all over that sugar cube piece. Now it's important that we wash our stamp after this step so we don't get any transfer when we do our kissing technique. Here I have the Woodgrain background. I'm leaving it on the carrier piece that it comes with so that I have a little something to grab onto. I've inked that with the darker Cilantro, and I'm placing that down right over the top of the Foliage background, just pressing it in place so that I can get the transfer of that image onto the raised portion of the background stamp. Now we want to clean the center because we don't want to get any transfer from that when we're pressing it down. So after cleaning the center with my cleaning cloth, you can see what beautiful detail we got on that stamp image. I'm going to clean the stamp again and use a sponge dauber with a little bit of Versamark to add just a tiny bit of detail to those leaves, and we will end up embossing that area after adding the rose gold embossing powder. I've conditioned the inked portion of my cardstock panel, and now I've closed that lid to stamp the Versamark down, and you can see when I sprinkle this powder over the top, the rose gold is going to adhere to the places where I use the sponge dauber to apply the Versamark. After heating that, you can see what a nice rosy pink color we get from that rose gold embossing powder. I wanted to add just a little bit more pink detail, so after wiping that off with my cleaning cloth, I am using guava ink with the tiny stamp from our Fresh Picked Florals clear stamp set. I'm going to align that on an acrylic block and just kind of sprinkle those in where there are small openings in the leaves. I thought it added just a little something extra. For my sentiment, I will be using Thinking of You. You can see it fits just perfectly in that open center of the stamped background. I'm lining that up here in my MISTI, and I'm going to stamp that with Oreo ink. A lot of times I will stamp it more than once to get a really crisp black. Then you can see I'm using the coordinating die here with a small piece of removable adhesive and sending that through my die cut machine. I love how these coordinating dies cut out the insides of the sentiments so you can really see what's behind them. I'm using a little bit of vellum just to soften the look like Noriko did on her card. And then I will take foam adhesive and pop that layer up. I'm going to take more foam adhesive and apply that behind the sentiment to pop it up even more. After adhering the sentiment, you can see that the card panel is pretty much finished. I think that is so awesome, the amount of dimension that Noriko got from this cool kissing technique, and I can't wait to see what you guys do using Tailored Expressions background stamps and this unique technique. Thanks so much for tuning in today, and you can find all of these products at the Tailored Expressions web store at tailoredexpressions.com.